Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Poppa Grizzly Gaming. Today we are doing a Atlanta Hawks rebuild NBA 2K24. Now, the lottery was yesterday, as I'm recording this at least, and with a 3% chance to get the number one pick, somehow the Atlanta Hawks were successful in achieving so. Now, there have been a ton of rumors about them trading Trae Young. That's most likely what I'm going to do just to follow suit. I went ahead and, for our sake, simulated the rest of the playoffs, and the Dallas Mavericks end up winning the NBA championship. Now you're looking at our contract. We actually have some young talent. Not quite sure who we would want to keep or build around. Otherwise, we'll just be moving on from a few people, um, mainly Trey Young and Clint Capella, packaging them together in a trade, whether it's to get talent or to get some early picks, um, most likely from San Antonio or LA. Um, in this rebuild, I'm pretty sure LeBron is going to retire, so LA will have some money to play around with. And I was right. LeBron does retire right away. Now, here, this is the first time this has actually popped up for me in a rebuild that I'm playing for fun. By the way, this is also an unrealistic rebuild. Trying to keep it realistic to some extent, but not super stringent on the rules. But I did approve the lottery tournament. Just thought that'd be a fun idea. Now we do have two picks in the top 15, I think, and let's see where we end up. So we end up fourth. We'll probably end up trading either the Pistons or the Spurs for one of those early picks to try and move ahead. Now we have the fourth pick again. So I believe it was the Pistons that had the first. So we'll see if we can just get a straight out swap with them. Doesn't work, but we'll go ahead and make it work. Just for this case of having the number one overall pick, we'll go ahead and force that trade. Don't remember off the top of my head what pick the Pistons ended up with in real life, but now we'll go ahead and try and trade Trae Young and Clint Capella. I was thinking of adding these two second rounders, but no need. Let's try and save that to move up for other draft capital, but let's try and see if the Spurs. Well, let's put it in Trade Finder and see what we get. Now this is crazy because we know that the Bucks would definitely not be trading Damian Lillard. They just brought him over and paid him a whole bunch of money. I could see the Bulls wanting to move on from Zach LaVine and Kobe White. Zach LaVine kind of never really lived up to expectations there. Darius Gar- Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen. Eh, nothing exciting. Now this is somewhat interesting, but that LaMelo Ball contract is ridiculous. That's not something I'm wanting to take on. This is also interesting, but I highly doubt the Giants would be letting go both of their pieces that they do have. Sabonis and Fox, that's almost like the Kings giving up on what they have, and they just made a playoff run, so I doubt that would happen. LA doesn't have enough firepower. They don't even have a high enough pick for me to add to it. We know the Pelicans are moving on from Zion. They just brought over McCollum a couple years ago, so I don't think he's leaving either. Scotty Barnes would be a nice future piece. I'm not the greatest fan, but here's exactly what we were looking for. So that trade went through. Now we're looking at both the 1 and 2 picks. We're going to go ahead and simulate the draft combine. Move right on into the draft. We have offers for the number 1 pick. There could be some interesting things here. Well, that was weird. We already traded Trae Young. So those must have been all offers. But looking at our team, Allstar is probably going to be the best player coming out of the draft, at least with this draft class that was created. I'm going to want a small forward. Do like Ron Holland. But let's get Sar out of the way. Yeah, see, these are different. There's some interesting picks, but we don't exactly want to bank on someone else with a lot of these bigger contracts, so we're just going to go ahead and take the small forward we want. Now, again, the decision is between Zach Resaxer, however you say his name. Again, if I butcher your name, brother, I apologize. But that's what we'll take. 6'9" out of France. And there we go. We got basically two at the top. Ron Holland was also a 77, so again, it would have been up to us in who we picked, but I think we got the better player, at least to start. And we'll go ahead and sign our rookies, decline that. Don't need either of those guys. Now, Paul George declined his player option as well as Drew Holiday. Let's see what we're working with. We skipped past our qualifying offers. It was Sadiq Bey was really the only person worth mentioning, but we won't be bringing him back. Now, we do have some interesting people here, mainly being Paul George, but as you all can see, we do not have the money for that kind of contract. Or Emmanuel Quickly's, who's significantly lower, but still, again, no money quite yet. That did not work, or at least I'm sure it won't. We can try to bring in Kelly Oubre. Not someone I want to hold over for a long time, but at least someone we can use as a bridge player, as long as we're not paying him a ton of money. I will decline Sadiq Bey, Trent Forrest, accept Kelly Oubre's contract, um, at least for now. So it doesn't look like we'll really be bringing in anyone else, at least that we can afford. Try to bring in Andre Drummond. Now moving on to the next season. This will be 2025. Looking at our roster, we have Dejonte Murray and John Wall, Devin Vassell and Bojan Bogdanovic, Kelly Oubre and Zachary Asher, Jalen Johnson and DeAndre Hunter, Onyeka Onwunwu and Alexander Sarr. First off, we all know that was an injury, but first off for Jalen Duren and Taylor Horton Tucker, I don't really think we'll be accepting or trying to make any trade moves as this season goes along. I think we'll just progress through this season, see where we end up. I doubt we'll get into a play-in game. We could, but I doubt it. Um, See what the rookies that we selected develop as. Hopefully, we get another high pick. But that's what we're looking to do is building up through the draft, maybe one or two big star free agents, and see how that works. So here we are at the end of the season. It looks like we actually finished 10th in the Eastern Conference, so we will be in a play-in game, probably against number 9, the Orlando Magic. Joker ends up winning MVP, no surprise there. And we'll simulate this game as we didn't expect to be here anyway. And of course, we're out in the first play-in game. Lakers, surprisingly, make it to the Western Conference Finals with Lonzo Ball winning the MVP. I guess that's who they ended up getting since LeBron retired. And then they win the NBA championship in LeBron-less LA Lakers, bringing back Lonzo Ball. Interesting. So now we begin this road to the number one pick, and we actually are in it, playing the Pelicans, and right away we're beat by the Pelicans. The Spurs ended up winning the number one pick tournament. So before this draft, we'll look to see if there are any moves we can make to try to move up into the draft or at least get rid of some more of these contracts. John Wall being one of them, not someone we really wanted to keep long term anyway. Bogdan as well, most likely, maybe. I'm thinking we let Jalen Johnson just walk into free agency, but we'll get rid of DeAndre Hunter and we'll add Okongwu, get rid of the contract. Now we do have 15 and 13 currently in terms of picks. The Cavs are really trying to get rid of this Darius Garland contract, but we don't want to take it on either or re-sign him. Same thing goes for Laurie Markkinen. He would be a good piece, but he's already 28 in age. He probably won't progress past an 88 overall. So I'm not thinking that's really a sustainable option. Colin Sexton, 2 years younger, still has more room to progress more, at least compared to Laurie Markkinen. But we currently have Devin Vassell, and I'm not sure if we're moving on from him yet. Brandon Ingram, not someone we want, but of course, right away, the Spurs, again, offering their number one pick, and that's what we'll go for. We'll see if we can add some other capital to try and make this go through, but we'll just add that for at least to make that work. We are taking on Keldon Johnson's contract, but it's really not that bad compared to a lot of the other players offered. Now let's see if we can package the rest of our 2025 draft picks to move up again, preferably within the top 5, and just do like we did last year, grab 2 more young players to build around, and then have some money to draft a big star player or two. And then either this year or the following year, we should really be able to, or be poised enough to make a playoff run. Now, a lot of these picks aren't looking, or trade options aren't looking like anything worth taking, and we certainly don't want to trade back, as the Pelicans offered us the 24th pick. But if we're giving 15 and 23, we definitely don't want to move back. So yeah, no options. So let's go ahead and just make a trade ourselves. Since we have Keldon Johnson, we don't necessarily need Kelly Oubre, especially since he's worse. Again, 15 mil a year we could be saving. We don't need Devin Vassell has a pretty big contract, but we'll hold on to him for a year. But let's trade Bogdan again. Another contract not needed. Would be good bench depth for us. But again, while rebuilding, that's not exactly what we're looking for. Now with Kelly Oubre, Bogdan, a late first, two of them. At the second, let's see how if we can move up yet again. Celtics have five. There's no way I'm letting them have a number five pick. And this should go through if I can get them to take on these two contracts. Let me remove this one and this one. And they agree to the offer with just the players. So that works. Now we still have our draft capital. We have 1, 5, and 15. Maybe we can move up from 15. Let's try to. We'll add some of these unprotected seconds. We'll keep Dejonte for now. I'm thinking get rid of Devin Vassell and his contract. He's good, but I don't want to pay that right now. Again, probably just let Jalen Johnson walk. We'll let Alexander Sarge start at center and play at center, and he should hopefully develop. So it looks like we'll be able to get the Rockets their pick. let's get to the draft. So once again, we have the number one pick. There's, of course, Cooper Flag and Ace Bailey. A lot of people are on the Cooper Flag train. I'm not. I don't see him being the next Blake Griffin or anything like that. I'd much prefer Ace Bailey, I'm thinking. I'm sure Cooper Flag will end up going next, so maybe we can grab Edgecombe with the third pick. And I was right. Cooper Flag will be Draymond Green's replacement in Golden State. Now, do we want Edgecombe or Harper? At a 6'7" shooting guard, I'm going to go with Harper. Drake Powell goes next. Now, we need a power forward. I would like to draft Dylan Harper, but we don't need another shooting guard. Now, Carter Bryant's interesting. Ultimately, I just need him to be a rebounder. I don't necessarily need him to be a tremendous point scorer. But Dylan Harper is tempting. But for our team's purposes, we're going to go Carter Bryant. Simulating to the end of the draft, Cooper Flag was, of course, the higher rated overall, but Ace Bailey 78, VJ Edgecombe 77, Carter Bryant 76, Dylan Harper was a 79. So we didn't take the two higher rated players, but based on our team needs, I think we took the better players. We'll go ahead and re-sign both of our rookies. We'll let Bruno Fernando, we'll decline his option, but we'll keep Kobe Buffkin for now. Looks like Jason Tatum, Jalen Brunson, Donovan, uh, Donovan Mitchell, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving all declined their player options. Chris Middleton as well. Again, I think he's ready to leave Milwaukee anyway. But we won't have the money to afford these guys, I don't think. But we'll have to look to make some moves. Again, I don't want Jalen Johnson. We can let him walk. Now, let's see who else we can move on from to try and create some more cap space for ourselves. Keldon Johnson being one. I think Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell are the two that we need to look to move on from. But it's finding something that actually works for us in our plan of rebuilding. Not to take the Sixers slogan, but we're going to have to trust the process. Nikola Jovic would be good. Also, I'd be tremendously upgrading in terms of power forward depth and getting rid of all of that money that was on Keldon Johnson's contract. Now we still only have a little under 30 million to work with in cap space. Looking at the contracts that Jason Tatum was given, I'm pretty sure we won't be able to afford them. Not when he's potentially looking at nearly 70 mil a year, 60 mil a year. There's no way we'll be able to compete with that. Yeah, no way at all. Same will go for Jalen Brunson. Same will go for Donovan Mitchell. And these guys won't be interested in taking a pay cut. Jimmy Butler might just because he's older, but Jamal Murray probably won't take this, even if we add in the no trade clause and the player option. Of course, he declines. We could potentially look at Miles Turner. It'll beef up our center position a bit more because right now all we have is Alex Sarr, who's still young and still needs to develop some more. John Collins is also someone we could potentially look at. Jonathan Kuminga as well. He will most likely take this money, but the Warriors will probably match his contract. I don't see them letting him go, especially when they just let go Klay Thompson, they let go Draymond Green. I think they still have Steph Curry, but that'll be the last piece from the old Big Three. Isaiah Hartenstein wouldn't be bad, especially if he'll take lesser money. Jonathan Isaac could also be good depth for us. So let's take his money down some and see if he'll take a pay cut. I don't think he's worth the 12. So we'll see how that goes. We used all our offers for today, so let's move forward. Jalen Johnson will decline his option. Kuminga and, of course, Jonathan Isaac do accept our offers. I don't think we'll take Jonathan Isaac, but if we can get Kuminga, we'll take Kuminga. And, of course, they try to match. As I said they would. So maybe I should have taken Jonathan Isaacs instead. We don't want to put out a bad product and have our morale be down by losing a bunch of games. I still want us to be somewhat competitive, although we're rebuilding. I just don't want to put a lot of our draft capital into bringing a big star or get caught in using a ton of our money moving forward on a big star. Now, don't mind offering DeMar DeRozan this simply because of his age. He probably won't finish the 3 years, let alone, or the 2 years, let alone the three. He'll most likely retire. John Collins is just someone I think we could use. But we'll have to see if he takes a pay cut. I don't want to give him that much money. He won't be a staple for us moving forward. It'll be more of a, not necessarily a bridge player, but somewhat of a foundational piece in a sense. So we've renounced the rights on these guys. DeMar DeRozan signs elsewhere. So we'll accept Miles Turner's contract. Again, he'll play ahead of Alex Sarr. John Collins signs elsewhere. His contract was matched. But we at least now have our centers, Zach and Ace. Again, our building points. We could move on from Jovic. Let's see if we can still get Jonathan Isaac. Again, on a reduced contract. He should take it. It's not like he's gotten any other offers aside from us. Try to get Santi Alma, but smartly enough, the Grizzlies will match his contract. Again, looking at our team, we did get Karis LeVert, but Edgecombe will be playing ahead of him. Again, building our youth. We did sign Bo just because Carter Bryant's going to need more time. But we shouldn't be too bad looking at our team. And again, of course, downloading Jack Moves rosters is again just the most detailed, in my opinion, the most accurate. As you can see by the amount of downloads he has, he's always at the top. I really want to move on from Devin Vassell, free up that money. But again, Jovic as well, he can go. He's just a placeholder for now. So we should be one of those middle of the road teams again. But that'll do it for this episode, you all. Next episode will kick off the beginning of next season. Thank you all for the love and support. As always, stay amazing. This is Pop the Grizzly.